Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Season 3. This is the first episode of season 3. We'd like to welcome you back. We'd like to tell you thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for, it's been a short 2 years, but a long 2 years, and now we're on the third year. Good night. Hadley, what's up?
What's up? It's good to be back. Just a little bit of housekeeping, something that I want to run through before we continue. I'm pretty sure people noticed that for the latter part of season 2 that I was absent. No fault of anyone but myself. It was a situation that I can boldly say that I mishandled, and that kept me away from the team for a while, but I'm happy to be back, and thank you for the support. People who reached out, people who asked questions. But we are back with season 3 of Talk the Ting, and we're going to start with a bang. And with us tonight is none other than Mr. Derick Peters, the great Derick Peters. And he's here with us tonight. So without further ado, Mr. Peters, can you join us and let's get the show on the road?
Hit the symbol for that, man. Bing. Mike. Good night, Ra.
Hey, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. First of all, I want to give thanks to the Most High for life. Yeah, good night, everyone. And as I said, I want to give thanks to the Most High for life, strength, health, and to be in good company, world over, and good night and good morning, good afternoon, good whatever is in your part of the world. And I want to say thanks to the guys, Hadley, for having me on the show for the first time. And of course, Mr. Wallace, thanks for having me on the show. I think it's going to be a nice conversation, not really an interview, but a conversation. So, we could talk about the things, I guess. Talk about the things, whatever, that way there.
Definitely. So who is Derick Peters? Give us a...
Who's Derick?
Yeah. Where you from? Where you grew up?
Who's Derick Peters? Boy. Who's Derick Peters? I should start with that, It's a man that love the Most High. It's a man that love culture, be it visual and performing arts, a man I believe in, his ancestors, his heritage, spirituality, man I believe in righteousness and strive. No man is perfect, but we strive to be doing the work of righteousness and sisters along the way. Basically, that is what it is,
So where you from? Where you grew up, where you went to school?
Well, where I'm from is from the Most High, because the Most High sent me here. That's where I'm from. But where I was born is a different thing. Where I was born in Roseau.
That's interesting because usually when people come on, we tell them there's nobody that's from Roseau,
All right, you're going, okay, it's all right. Yeah, I was born in Roseau, and actually, I like to be regarded as a man from countryside, so even though I was born in Roseau, I still feel the country life in me. Meaning that my mother was born in Rosalie, but came down to Roseau when she was like about 7 years old. And so was my father from Grand Bay, Barracoa, you know. Came to Roseau about maybe about the same age. So they met in Roseau and stuff like that. You know, I was born. So I raised up in Roseau, in central, where we call the capital of Roseau, which is River Street. I was born, you know, in River Street, and
The capital of the capital then.
yeah, the capital of Roseau. So is there where all people that come out, wherever they come out, they have to pass. They must come River Street. River Street was, I mean, River Street now is not like River Street how we know it, you know. But that is what it is, and that's what we do, you know. That's what we do. Raise up in River Street, and you know, grew up there. Of course, I grew up in River Street and in Goodwill as well, you know, because my father was living up in Goodwill in Franklin's Lane, you know, and raised up in Goodwill as well. So I had the both vibe, you know. Of course, you know, I had the different kind of language, meaning that when I Roseau, I'll speak like a Roseau man, them man, and oh, and what and roots kind of a thing. But when I reach up Goodwill, I had to change my talk, you know what I mean? Went to Kim and Saw and bottle knife, and spoon and fork and them kind of a thing, right? You know, but so I had that mixture of culture, you know. So I went to first kindergarten. I went to a school called Teacher Rose there. If you know Dennis Joseph downstairs was a Rose. Teacher Rose was like she was a guide mistress. They used to call I remember they used to call her Bromwell, you know.
Okay.
And she was a girl guide mistress, you know. And she had that school there. So kindergarten days was really there, you know. And I remember going to that school there, and my mother, you know, teacher was just telling my mother, you know something, man, you know, this guy there, you know, all he interested in is, you know, he can do his lessons, you know, but he liked to play drums, you know, he always playing, you know. I was like about maybe 3 years old, you know, and yeah, from there, then I go mixed school, which used to be opposite the where the Acme garage. Yeah, in Roseau, yeah. That's on Cox Street.
Cox Street.
And yeah. And after that, now I go to Roseau Girls School, which I wasn't really happy to because Roseau Girls School, I really had a problem with that. So that again make me want to that school even more, you know, because when they ask you, which school you going? Roseau Girls School, I saying that like sheepishly because I check it like, a boy going Roseau Girls School.
Roseau Girls School.
But that wasn't anybody's school, Roseau Girls School. But it was a mixed school, you know, it was like boys and girls, you know. So I didn't really enjoy going there because, you know, I was being like harassed and stuff like that, like other guys and stuff like that. Those are more coward than me again, you know. So asked my father to give me a transfer. By that time, he was teaching in Goodwill School, you know, Goodwill Junior High School, you know. And I tell him, you know, I really do like that school, you know, I want to come out from that school. And I was really happy making that change because the whole culture was a little different, you know, the guys and them were less aggressive, you know, and Goodwill School had like more, you know, and I meaning more, it was offering more in the time. For instance, the girls had home ec, you know, and of course, I mean, in the school in town, they had it too, but no, we had another thing again there in that school, the science lab, you know, you had the woodwork shop, which of course, where my father was the tutor in there. You know, by that time when I get there, I wasn't, you know, you have to reach a certain age for you to start to go to the woodwork shop. So I wasn't really going to the woodwork shop. But otherwise, I used to go there, you know, before school start, you know, and at break time, you know, and after school, I'd go check my father out in the workshop. stuff like that in the go to school workshop and stuff like that. So that was it basically. After that, I just go direct college. I do after go to school, I just do college. I did building technology together for a couple guys like Didi, Derick Alexander, fellas like Tony Prentice, Buglici, Earl Charles, Ermin Charles, Marius Pelte, quite a few guys.
But you all the way up into college now, and I'm not hearing anything about like music. Where did that whole music thing come from?
Well, as you asked me about school, we do school.
Yeah.
We do school.
Continue about this.
Yeah, so
continue about this school,
but,
and then let's transition into
as I
the
tell you,
music.
from kindergarten I was playing already. You know.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is, well, after that, well, that is it. You know, from college, then you know, that was it. I go direct into the band. You know, which of course now we're going to go with the music now. You know, growing up in River Street and stuff like that, you know.
All right.
Growing up. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I thought you were winding down. Go ahead.
No. I winding up. I don't winding down, man.
Okay, so we're going to transition into the music. But before we talk about the music, there's a question that will segue us into. Everybody know you as Ra. A lot of people know you as Derick Ra Peters, but there's a lot of people that just know Ra. Where did the name Ra come from?
Yeah.
And was it a nickname prior to music, or was it deliberately created because of your involvement in music, like a deliberate stage name?
No, that was nothing to do with stage, you know. That was like that name came about is my brother gave me that name, you know, Lionel. Leslie, a lot of people call him Lion, some call him Leslie, you know, he have quite a few names, but you know, for me growing up, to be his name is Lio. So growing up there, you know, we used to go and watch a lot of the Western movies. And in the Western movies, there were such names like Fernando Sancho, Gilema Glema, and all those kind of fancy names. Yeah. So, you know, back in the day, we used to make like a catapult and stuff like that, the slingshot, you know. So I went and I write on my catapult, you know. I figured, well, yeah, I want to get a Western name. So I put Ramon Sparra. And this I know. Your name is not Ramon Sparrow, your name is Ra. I'd be like, whoa. So, you know, the man go to all his partners, all my partners, my legal partners, and so I say, yeah, Mr. Lim is Ra. So, you know, from then, you know, by that time I was about maybe 6 or 7 years, somewhere about there, you know.
Wow.
From then everybody else decided, well, Ra, I was just as Ra. You know, but I wasn't aware of, at that time, you know, because my brother was a guy there, you know, he did a lot of reading and research and stuff like that. And I have to big him up on that. Because he's the one that came home with a lot of records, and you know, he did a lot of reading and stuff like that, you know, and writing poems and stuff like that. So now he, you know, was aware of the Egyptian sun god Ra. I wasn't aware of that. So you had write R-A. But I find R-A do look like Ra, and it do sound like Ra to me. So I add the H. But actually when you wrote it, it was R-A. And the R-A is the Ra, you know, from Egyptian sun god. You know, so now I just realized, but with a while, you know, it have more than I really knew about it back then, you know. So you growing up, you know, so in growing up, I get to understand, you know, what's the name and the power of the name and everything, you know. So it just happened to be like that. So it had nothing to do with a stage name or Mighty Ra, or them. It was nothing like that. It was just like Ra, straight like that.
Long before that.
It was like, yeah, my about the name. But I'm talking about the music. I get into music from little youth. From since I born, I know I playing. It was like when I say playing, I mean drums. At the time, I didn't have a drum set, So what I used to do is to substitute and do like percussions. I even reached a stage where I was making my own percussions. Yeah. So I used to play like congas, bongos, Some people may hear that story already, but when I was little youth there, my queen used to have in River Street, my queen used to have those chairs we get from Nassif, and people are of back then that knew Nassif and stuff like that, know those type of chairs. It had a plywood bottom, but it had a song. When you knock it, it had a nice little song. And my mother maybe had about 6 of them, So I used to set it up without even being conscious of an octave, what the octave was. I set it up in tones, from lowest tone to the highest pitch, And I do it on automatic. I say, no, boom, that one is sung in low, okay. Tack, that one sung on a little higher. Let me put it, So I used to have it like, you're rolling. Check. So now I do that automatic. I was like about like what, 2-3 years doing that, And
isn't that something
I
similar
kind
to?
of started.
Isn't that something similar to having perfect pitch?
It was something like that, because now my queen used to be doing a lot of singing. She more or less was Catholic, but she used to go to a lot of the Protestant churches. So she would sing a lot of those Christian hymns and them old African hymns and stuff like that, So I hear a lot of singing from her, but no, singing was like, okay, because I like my drums so much, and I figure, well, I need a little thing to go with it. I want to sing, and play my drums, whatever, my percussion, and run in the rhythm and down with it and bust out the singing, the whatever could go with it. So now I always thought to myself, for you to perform a song, that means you're supposed to write the song. That's what I thought. I never knew that somebody could write a song for you and you sing the song. I always figure anybody that come on the stage and they're singing a song, that means they write their song. As a little youth, that's why I thought. But no, it's only when I get big enough, at the stage I realized, but a man could write a song and he could sing it, so I used to write my little stuff, do my little thing. I remember a time I brought a song to my brother, but I write my little song, and so I check him, well, I'm impressed, by what I write. So I bring it to him, I tell him, well, look, see what I write. The man watch me every time, I go on that, but you go there, I check it, oh, when I write my song again, you'll never see that again. I don't go and show you my song again for you to break me down and take it. And so said, so done, But he, actually, my brother was the writer, he was dipping down in arts. I mean, for instance, back in the day in printing, they used to do like stencils, cut the paper and have the paint and stuff like that and dab it, so he was into that kind of a thing, and printing and drawing and stuff like that. He was into that kind of a vibe. So I wasn't really into it as such, but I used to observe him working, printing the t-shirts and stuff like that. And writing, I think he had it naturally. Yeah.
So you recognize your talents very early on. At what point did you start to meet other fellas more talented than you? Not more talented. At what point did you start to meet fellas who were talented as well in other aspects of music, and then only decide, boy, a band is the best thing to do right now?
Well, from little youth by the riverside, full of talent, who could sing, and by the riverside was really a special place, because now days where we start what we call a lapoplastic. It's a lapo carburetor, but because we was using plastic and stuff like that to make those drums, they was calling it lapoplastic. So we had a kind of a lapo carbide band, as we was like little youths, still about like 7, 8, 5, and we run by the riverside, get our tin, get our whole butter tin, run by the base, by the bayside there where they had the harbor back in the day. You know, we get the plastic. We used to look for the special plastic. It was kind of looking, it was white, you know, but the other kind of a bluish kind of a color because it was thick enough, you know. And we would go by SO. SO used to be across the bridge where the gasoline station is. If the Rosa Bridge going out of town, right? SO used to be on the other side. I don't know which gasoline company has there now, if it's Texaco or whatever, I don't know. And we would go across, they get the tube, which is the inner side of the tire, and get the tube and cut it, you know, like ribbons, you know, and use that, stretch it around the tin and pull on the plastic, you know, to get the tone. Sometimes we stretch a piece of 2 pieces of guts around it now to get the snare sound. So there, you know, we had a lot of competition who could make the best drum. Of course, I had like a hard time because when I make my drum, I start to play it, you know, fellas used to feel a way about, you know, when I play it, you know, I used to go across the riverside. That time the ring road, or how they call it there, the road going up to Goodwill wasn't there. We used to walk straight across the river bank where the thing is, how you call it, the riverside apartments.
Yeah.
We used to walk straight up. We used to call a spot there called in Sequoia. So we used to walk straight up, going up towards the river, and there was the shortcut going up to Goodwill there. We used to walk up that thing, but now walking along the path there was the rosary reeds. So I used to pick the reeds, get and make my sticks there out of the reeds, you know, measure that, make sure they are about the same weight, same size, and you know, make my drumsticks out of that, you know. And then, you know, when we used to be having our little session, you know, warm-up session there for Carnival, when I start to play my drum, man, fellas used to feel bad. Some man was feeling bad about that. But it used to take the stick and just boost my drum, man. I used to be checking, oh, that time I had to go back, get the plastic, stretch that over and all that kind of a thing. So I had to be running, you know, hide when I see certain man because they're bigger than me, they're stronger than me, I'm going to be fighting with them because I really didn't like the fighting kind of a vibe and stuff like that, you know. So when I used to play that, you know, fellas used to really amaze at me, man, because I used to playing that there, you know, with pure soul. You check me, it's not just like a beating drum, like, you know. It's like when I play, you know, because that time we used to be listening to a lot of like music lovers. Music lovers used to practice in the old grammar school, where you know is the All Saints University.
Okay.
That time the place there was the old grammar school. There was the old grammar school, and they used to be playing there. And of course, we had 2 places in River Street, 2 houses. One was lower down where we had a bakery, and the other was higher up, you know, by Miss Olive area. For people that know listening right now, I know Miss Olive in River Street. And when we walking up in the night, we would always go and listen to the music lovers and practicing. That time, like people like Stumpy Father used to be playing, and of course, Bellot used to be conducting. So I'd go there and amaze and listen to the other man they played because it's only brass and drums, you know. And yeah, so I used to be, you know, rattling them drums there real good. But apart from that, from doing that thing by the riverside, I became a member of a group called Harambe, led by Natalie Charles, where they were doing performance poetry, like what Rasmo and them they're doing right now, and what Rab is doing. But Nats was the one first I know was doing that, and also it was about like what 6-7 years around that time they're going to that rehearsal and stuff like that, and they had the performance poetry, so the group had dancing. They had the dance group was called the Mansa Munsa Dancers because Nats was very much black activists, you know. So raised up in like in Black Power time, you know. So it's like conscious, you know. And they had the Mansa Munsa Dancers, and the group name was Harambe, and you had the guys that were doing the performance poetry. The name of that section was called the Ghetto Freaks, you know. And they had the drama part, you know, so they had the dance, the drama, and the performance poetry. The first performance I did was similar. I was like about 7-8 years old. in the Arawak Cinema opening for Gidot's Power Union. So it was more about my first performance, you know. Yeah, so days where it all began, you know. And apart from that, when we ceased being in Harambee and stuff like that, I became a member of People's Action Theatre. By that time, I was about 11 or 12 years. That's under the art directorship of Alwyn Booley, you know. So there was my cousin, John Toussaint, which you call him, a lot of people call him Doc and stuff like that. Studied in Cuba. He's the one that brought me to the rehearsal list. That time they used to be having the rehearsal at 7 o'clock every Tuesday nights in the St. Gerard's Hall, you know, where, you know, is the Catholic chapel, you know. So then I was with PAT for a while, together with my cousins and a lot of artist people like Norrin Joseph, Gary DJ,
That's a lot of
all sort of names.
Yeah,
like
man.
Annette Toussaint. Yeah, a lot of names. Yeah.
Okay.
Arnold Tula was there as well. Yeah, so a lot of those guys were in there. So that's why I did theater work again.
All
Yeah.
right.
Of course, I did a couple plays, Rula in Aruna, and I did a couple plays. Of course, I was doing like drums and percussions as well. You know, when people like Carl Ishmael came from St. Lucia, you were doing some dancing classes and stuff like that. So I was doing, you know, that sort of work there. Yeah.
All right. So clearly we see that there was Ra before what we know Ra for. We know you for WCK, but Ra existed. The name was created from what, 7 years old, you said?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You just give us an extensive little history, trot down history lane with your career prior to WCK or anything in the music. But you got introduced to the arts, you got introduced to the music, and then WCK came about. You were now a part of this band that is credited for the creation of the bouyon genre.
But if I may, I must let you know that before we go into that area there was the group I. The group I, you know, we were doing pure percussions. That was led by my brother Lionel Leslie Lion, and people like Algernon Adams. Now this is Rosman Lander, Greggs, Peter Fingal, Tony White, even Rasmo was in it for a little while. Arnold Toulon, of course, his brother Paul Toulon was in that group too. So we were doing pure drums, percussions, and vocals. After that, we had a group called Earth. That was my first, what we may call the electronic group, you know. And we had people like Dexter Valmore. We had people like Frankie Tong. Dexter Valmore was on drums. Frankie Tong was on keyboards. Spikey, that's Leroy Gis, was on guitar. There was Derick Thomas on bass, and Wackers, Ashton Luge was on guitar. That's where we had our first record in 1979. Anyone of all you were born around that time?
1979?
Born?
No, sir.
No, sir? Oh, okay, well, no, sir. All right, no, sir. Well, that was the first time I recorded. I went to a studio. We went to the studio called Deb's Recording Studio in Guadeloupe. So that was my first recording. So that was 1979. So if none of you guys was wrong, I'm sorry, but that's why it was. And that was towards the end of the the Caras Haiti. You check? Caras not totally it's not dead, but around that time now it started to like kind of a slowdown, you know, because if you recall now, Casav started somewhere in
around that time.
Around that time then. because by that time, now, as you know, in the Kada's time there, but we had loads of bands, loads of bands, in and out of Dominica. We had the juniors, we had the seniors, we had the intermediate, and, it was like that, because a couple of my partners were in bands. My partner Keith Hagley, in England, and of course he was in a band called Black Blood. So I don't know if of late there you saw some of the guys they were showing that were there, like Pato, that were in different groups and stuff like that. Black Machine, Black Blood, Black Roots, Black Affairs. I remember all was black, and stuff like that. So no, I just wanted to make sure I slot that in before we just jump to that other thing and miss that section.
Yeah. That's okay.
That section is very, very crucial, because by that time I was doing Kadas. I did Kadas around that time. Was my favorite, but because I was more or less doing like reggae around that time. Of course we skip even the part where we had a group called Rooftop Connection. That's after TIng was over with. When Earth, which we record the album under the name Liquid Eyes Earth. By that time, after the hurricane, which was 1979, which was a couple days ago, they were celebrating 42 years of Hurricane David, whatever. Everybody disappeared. Every who go St. Thomas, who go there, and the band kind of smash up by that. By that time now, we started a group called Rooftop Connection. It was already existing, but now I became working in the group together with Smokey. That's when I get to know Smokey. That's Cornell brother.
Right.
Yeah. I know Smokey before, but
it was Smokey first from that band, and then
we really
Walkers in the following band. Okay.
Yeah, Walkers was in the band before, which was Earth, So Walkers myself was playing already before.
Okay.
But I get to know Smokey after, because Walkers herself was a member of Rooftop Connection. At that time we were doing strictly reggae. Just reggae alone.
Yes,
Just name whatever kind of a reggae. Reggae from whoever. I mean, Black To the World, Steel Pulse, Dennis. So no, I just wanted to fill that gap there, so feel no way.
No man, all knowledge is good knowledge.
Yeah, man.
All right.
So you became a member of WCK, which is what most people know you for, and it was a very successful band. We can say, a very successful performer, artist, songwriter, musician, producer. Tell us about your time in WCK, and then you can also segue into this genre that you guys created, BOUYON, because we want to know what is BOUYON music. We've been hearing a lot of different definitions of BOUYON. Some people butchering it, some people saying what they think it is, but for you being one of the creators of the genre, tell us about your time in the band and the process of creating such a dynamic type of music that still lives on to today.
Yeah, at what point that you guys decide, what, we gonna make this band and this is the music we gonna do?
Well, in the first place, when we started, I think that was about 87 when Smokey met me. I just finished college, because I done college about 86.
Okay, I was born already. 1 year.
I still wasn't there yet.
All right, yeah. So anyway, when Smokey meet me, Smokey tell me, boy, we want to work on a band, and we not even like what we used to do before, practicing on box guitar and playing on tin and then kind of a thing. And Smokey other thing is to blow in, man, and play keyboard on there,
Because,
yeah. And we didn't have no drum set back in the day, So when everybody will sing, this song, right? So if a man do here, you know, it's a reggae, tick, tick, pack, tick, tick, pack, tick, tick, pack, tick, 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 you know. So you know when you do that, you're practicing in your head. You don't know drum set. So it's when you actually go on the seat live, then you're really letting go your stuff. So everything in your head is not to see like you really practice. You just know your stuff. You know where your hi-hats is. You know when you ease up. You know you're supposed to get the check on the hi-hats. You know, dash. You know when you the snare and the cymbal. You know dash. You know them kind of a thing there. So you're working out kind of a more mental. You know, so you tell me, boy, you know, nothing like that, you know, you're gonna get some real instruments. I say, Smokey, I had no problem by that time, you know, I had my change. I say, well, you know, if there's anything they know, we can buy our stuff, you know, because back in the day, you know, it's gonna ask people if it can help you out and maybe loan you, you know, and stuff like that. Some people turning you down, some people tell you, oh, go and buy your stuff still, and after they'll help you when you start and all that kind of a story. So say, well, you know, we'll get our own stuff, man. We'll buy our thing, you know, we work in, you know, we have our change, so we'll buy our stuff. So days where we started. So we had the first meeting and decided, okay, yeah. But now when we start off and stuff like that, actually, I was supposed to be doing percussions and vocals, backup or lead, whatever the case may be. But when we get ready to get started and stuff like that, Tony, Ditush was supposed to be doing drums, but by that time, no, you know, he had slack off and stuff like that. So when we started off there, it was Wackers on guitar, as you know, Cornell keyboards, his brother Smokey keyboards, Keith on bass. I call Wackers already on guitar, and myself, you know, drums, and actually, as I said, it was percussions, and Tony was supposed to do drums, but when we started, when they get going, that was it, you know, that was the side. So we played about different places, but now the band was doing some stuff from that time Flames that just come, so that kind of a thing. We're really fascinated about the drum machine and the song that they're making and stuff like that, and doing some stuff from Eddie and the Movements. It wasn't even jam band yet, Eddie and the Movements, and a couple little things from Ellie Matt, you know. As you know, Ellie Matt is the one that really start off that kind of a fast kind of a pace, you know, from St. Kitts. And we were playing stuff from, you know, of course, 17 and everything. But, you know, really and truly, when you start playing off and thing, and we recorded the first album, Mopsy One More Sweet, if you listen to this song, you hear a lot of that type of song from 17 and not much jam band, a little jam band, but no Flames, and so you hear the kind of a song with the kind of a thing.
That was the initial influence.
But I say to myself, yeah, but I say to myself, you know, I personally, I really do like the song like people. I like originality, because to me, a real musician is the one that creates. That's me and myself. That's what I think. You know, is the one that really creates, you know, and that's what I think the world rates a musician on, when you can create your own stuff, authentic, original, you know. And when we recorded the first album, it was all right. I do like maybe one or two songs and co-write on one or two songs and stuff like that. And on the second album, that's the Culture Shock. I see, boy, you know, I spoke to Keith about it. I tell him, boy, Keith, boy, by that time, Cornell, I think that it was during the summertime that we were going in the studio by up in Bath Road, you know, and we had our little band house there. So I tell Keith, boy, you know something, man, I have an idea there, and you know, I thinking of putting a little accordion in that, a little vibe, a little culture, something, man, because I think that could really work, you know, instead of we just doing them other man stuff, because I figure, you know, Dominica have so much rhythm. We have Lapo Capuet, we have the Jinping, we have Bele, we are Kadas, can kind of, tweak it a little bit and work on that. So now, there's where I work on the first song. By that time, Smokey was in Trinidad, doing some kind of a course for customs. Smokey, Cornell was somewhere in Texas, some of them places they're doing some computer thing for his family. And so Keith and myself went up to the band house and started to work out the thing, and I come up with the tune, this is a culture warning, and I see, but we could put on a kind of a thing like that, and guys, you can have a thing, and check out. And they will, so we put a kind of a thing, kind of a something the machine they're still too old to, And by that time, the summer come, that was, the summer of 89. That we went up, New York and come back down and say, okay, we're going to work on the album. So that album came out, the Culture Shock album came out in 90. Yeah, so then is when we do things like live jam and them kind of a thing, so that was the kind of initial stage of developing the. Say it again?
The album was recorded in Dominica?
Yeah, that album, actually, we record that album. I think we record that album in the studio, because I think Ashton had an 8-track, and I think we record that in the studio, that second album.
That's impressive.
He had an 8-track, Ashton had an 8-track, and I think, yes. So we try it there, and so, kind of a work, Yeah.
So not by Mac. Yeah. So wasn't by Mac Murray then that album record?
No, the first album was Mopsy One Mosway. Days where we recorded by Mac Murray. The first album.
Oh, okay.
The first album, that is by Mac Murray. But the second one, I think we tried it on the 8-track. I think we tried it on the 8-track. I think so. That's on the 8-track.
So at what point? Oh, go ahead. I was going to segue a little bit into something else, slightly.
Yeah, because now they did. I think the other album is when I think we went by Ken. We went by Ken Robinson. I think we recorded maybe twice by Ken. I don't know, twice or so by Ken Robinson. Yeah, I think it was the maybe the third and fourth album, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so at what point? At what point did you guys realize that hey, we have something? At what point did you realize that you really created something of your own, something that you can call yours? Because I'm pretty sure like you all experimented even while producing the albums, and you still wasn't quite sure if that was what you were looking for. So at what point did you all really realize you all had something?
Yeah, because when did people start to take to the music? Because the music it always nice in your head, but you never know really that you're doing well until people start to say, boy, them fellas rocking.
Right.
Well, to be honest, when we did the Culture Shock album, that in itself, like for instance, the crowd that we were playing to, like our little local crowd, were all right. Done good with it, because we did a lot of little jams. Got a place called Garage. I think they're still using the name Garage, but it wasn't Garage as it is right now. We used to be doing that little jam, and playing birthday parties and like weddings here and then, and that's what we used to do. But now, when that record came out, it wasn't so much appreciated by the radio stations, to put it that way. Our fan base was already taken into it, so but no, the radio stations was already pushing it. It's for instance is when RCI had a transmitter in Dominica. So now I think they put their hands on the album and they start to play the album.
Hold on, for those of us,
through that now people had stopped maybe listening to DBS. RCI sound was like, RCI was sounding, more fresh. It's like when Radio Jumbo used to be back in the day of the Cadas time, when Radio Jumbo come on and they put on DBS and they put on Radio Jumbo, it's like chalk and cheese. So it's the same kind of a thing now. When RCI start to push that, they start to push the album, you know. Well, DBS at the time was the nation station, the number one. They had no choice. They had to jump in it. So it was as if almost like they forced their hand, but they didn't really do it voluntarily. They didn't really actually go and push it. I could say that, you know, because I know, you know, and it's true that RCI, that's why, you know, go into St. Lucia so much, because them people take into us, just like how them Lucians love like Midnight Groovers. Like the same kind of a way they have that kind of a vibe, you know, for us in St. Lucia. It's like St. Lucia was like our second home. Every minute we were in St. Lucia. So now, talking about like when we recognize that, I think is when we did the Conch Shell album. It's like the Conch Shell album, because, you know, that knockout, not only Dominica Carnival and mash up the road, you know, and I mean, them man had a problem with that, because no, that take the road march and everything. Take over the Caribbean as well, because Conch Shell stay Grenada road march for maybe 5 years or more. Every year was Conch Shell taking it on the road, you know. I mean, Conch Shell stay there, you know. So now, by then we realize now, you know, that that song was grabbing, because that time we do the mixture with the sample of the Conch Shell, and of course of the kind of a lapo cap with kind of a drive, you know. It wasn't exactly what I wanted the full rhythm to be, but, you know, I just allow certain things to happen, because I had my ideas of how the rhythm of the guitar was supposed to be. And yes, it happened to be that type of rhythm that it gets, you know, that kind of a lick, but I had a different lick in mind, you know. And anyway, when it go on like that, I just like, you know, let it go. But
was it at the point of like the Conch Shell album when all you start like being on the road, like for Carnival, like that whole band kind of a vibe, like where you on the truck, and was it like during that Conch Shell time?
Well, by that time we start to grow by leaps and bounds, you know. I mean, after a while, it was like almost like a rapid growth, you know. So we realized that, you know, that thing was growing, and, you know, it started to pick up, especially when we did the Culture Shock. That was one of them. But, you know, when we did the Conch Shell, I think Conch Shell just give a kind of a vibe, because, you know, mostly all around the Caribbean, and I mean, they can identify with the Conch Shell. You talk about Guadeloupe, you talk about anybody else in the Caribbean, Guadeloupe, Martinique, you know, you talk about other places in the Caribbean where they do the Conch Shell. But the thing is about us now, we were, you know, the first to attack it that kind of a way, to sample it, because of the computer age of the drum machine, and where you can get a song and take it from analog and, you know, translate it to digital and them kind of a thing there. So now there is where the kind of converging, you know, the culminating of that kind of two kind of how you call it now, mediums kind of meet together, you know, kind of meet each other halfway, you know, where you could get an acoustic song, cut it into digital and stuff like that, you know. So then I realized, you know, that we were thinking. But again, what made me even realize that more again, that we were really up to something good, was when we went to England for the very first time. And we had people as far, I mean, we were London Central, but we had people as far as Leeds, which is about like a 4-hour or more drive away from London. And the place was so loud.
Wow.
And people were outside making noise that they couldn't come in because the hall too small. Imagine they, you know, in those places now, they sell the hall by sections. When fellas see that halls, that site's full, you know, they have to ask for extension of the hall, you know, to open the other side, you know, or the hall and stuff like that. And after a while, it was to capacity. Then we realized, yeah, you know. And the other proof of that was a time when we played for Labor Day in New York. And of course, I love as well, you know, as I tell you, I love reggae. I love reggae music. And when I see we played for Labor Day and we went, you know, it was Smokey and myself, you know, of course, we're all my brother and stuff like that. We went down 44th Street, I think, wherever that hall is. I can't remember its name. And Aswad was performing there, but you know, Aswad is one of my favorite reggae bands, and I go to see Aswad. When I see the kind of a crowd that Aswad had, and I see the kind of a crowd that we had for Labor Day, I say, okay, yeah, I see, yeah. You know, yeah, not that we reach, but no.
Or you were onto something big.
We sitting on a gold mine. And as I say, you know, that we sitting on a gold mine and we have to mine our business. You check me? Don't make somebody else come and mine it for us. You know,
Right.
I mean, we were really at a very good place. I don't think some of them understand exactly what was going on, because I come from a thing the way I knew already the business of music. And through that, my experience coming from college that I did building technology, we did an area called organizing procedures, and it taught me a lot, which them techniques I could apply it, because you have the building industry and the music industry. I see where I could apply certain principles that you could use in the building industry into the music industry. And that is what I use, because when I was doing that, the man didn't understand what I was doing when I see them and the rest of the man in the band. But no, I come with that wealth of knowledge, and plus I dealt with other organizations and other groups, you know, even like, for instance, I did make mention of the Kubuli dancers, but I did a portion of percussions for Kubuli dancers, toured with them, you know, Guadeloupe and a couple places with them. And I knew exactly how to organize that. And in Arambe, with Natalie Charles as the leader, because you know, she was one Black activist. Of course, she used to be together with Rosie Douglas and stuff like that in Canada, and go for the whole kind of a thing of the deportation and all that stuff there. She was the one teaching us how to be followers, but teaching us how to be leaders at the same time. So that in itself taught me a lot. So I applied those type of techniques, you know, in the band, you know, to get the band into that kind of a way there, you know. So I was kind of basically doing it on automatic. It wasn't like, you know, wasn't really thinking too hard, you know.
All right. So I have a question. What do you think was your most, not the most for the band, but for you, what was your most memorable moment with WCK? Whether it was when you were playing drums or when you were the man at the front and basically the face of the band, what was your most memorable moment?
To me, the most cherished moment to me was number one, when we came by the whole thing of creating that genre called BOUYON music. You know, of course, I had the opportunity of giving it the name, coming up with the concept, you know, meaning that the whole vibe about like what BOUYON music should be, meaning that the concept, meaning what we intend BOUYON music to be. Number one is a patriotic music, you know, one that bridges the generation gap. So no, it's no kind of a thing about old people one side, young people one side. It's a music for all. A music that respect and show reverence to the ancestors that brought the music, that we could celebrate them in playing the music, you know, because this music comes from all the way from Africa. Of course, it has some little European influence, but basically the rhythm, the drive, even when you play guitar or you play a keyboard, the strumming, which is the rhythm, is an African kind of a rhythm. You check me? So that in itself, that is one of the moments that I really feel good about and proud, not only for me, but for Dominica, because no, as I said, there's a patriotic music, you know. For instance, I mean, and that music is something that need to be shared, you know. meaning that the whole concept of Bouillon is you have a big bomb, you know, you have your fig in there, you have whatever you put in there, everything that can work within the formula. Eh? You don't go and put a right fig like my partner had said, put a right fig in it and spoil the whole thing. You know? You have to put things that can work within it. You check?
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Yes. Yeah, you put whatever. Some people like viande parfumée. Some people don't like viande parfumée. Some people like swine. Some don't like swine. You know, but you want to make a nice ital that everybody could enjoy. You know, you don't want to be like too personal. No. When you make that whole big bomb there, you cannot be sitting down there with a little teaspoon trying to eat the whole bomb of bouillon you want. That's not the idea. The idea is to share.
Yeah.
You have a whole bomb of bouillon, everybody gets a plate, and everybody gets their feel. You check? So now, it's what's much more better than when you cook that whole thing is like you're having a party. But you all don't want to eat everything in the party. It's not possible. For you to really enjoy the party is like you share, you give man this one, that man get the thing, and you see everybody thing and they enjoying and So that's the whole vibe about the bouillon is to share.
But
is to give that kind of a love.
With that said, now, what is Ra position on the a lot of talk on where bouillon come from? Is it Dominican? Is it our own? Should we be putting more of like a protective cover on it and be saying, well, that is ours, telling people, well, they need to give the credit? Because you talk a lot about, sharing it and it's for everybody, but
yeah,
do you think that there's like a limit to the everybody? Is this Dominica own, or how you feel about other people outside of Dominica?
Well, music is a thing that you cannot have it serious yet. You have to share, because you can't make a music like, for instance, right? Some man was like, boy, play bouillon music and you want to make it a genre, but now you alone playing it. That make any sense? I don't think it make any sense. So that is why one of my vibe and whole concept again was to bring in as much people as possible to play the genre. Like you see what happening there now. Everybody playing bouillon. Everybody love bouillon. But no, it didn't just happen like that automatic. You had to put it out there. You had to go through the struggles. It had different thing. It had people there. They had the hand between their legs while certain man was working. Certain man was doing certain thing to get it out there. For instance, I spend a lot of my personal funds in making sure that happen, making sure that I bring people in, nurture them, be with them, teach them. Some people turn back and tell me thanks, some people worry, some people grateful, some people ungrateful. But it doesn't matter. What matters is, to me, is a lot of people making a living out of bouillon music, a lot of people, So, and so to me, to see as if, well, it's just a Dominican thing. Check, for instance, reggae music. How much different man playing reggae music? Reggae music is a music. You cannot keep it to yourself. The thing is, what you have to do is to respect the roots of it, the foundation of it. The people that make it happen. You have to respect that. And there's the same kind of a way where we talk about respecting the ancestors. You have to respect the ancestors. You have to respect the roots. You have to respect the foundation. You check, you have to.
So Ra, that being said, though, in your opinion and what you thought about bouillon, it was something to share. I think two of the things that has been going around is that bouillon is our own and we have to keep it amongst ourselves. And for one time, I was one of the people who was a little skeptical as, boy, should we just let bouillon go out there for everybody else to take it? And then, after having conversations with people like you and some other people, my mindset changed. But then it also hit me that one of the other issues is maybe one of the reasons why some of the people who are in the music business right now are afraid of it going out there is because they haven't done exactly what you said. they haven't respected the music well enough to take care of it how they should take care of it, so that they could let it go out there and still get the respect or the recognition of the genre. Because reggae music goes all over the world. You have white man playing bouillon, playing reggae. You have people like Gentleman. You have people like Lucky Dubby from Africa playing reggae. You know, you have Steel Pulse and UB40. But at the end of the day, the roots of reggae still sits down in Jamaica and the African heritage. So did we do something wrong? Because right now people are clearly performing songs to bouillon rhythms and musical arrangements, and nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares to say that is bouillon. So did we do something wrong in that instance? Something different from the Jamaicans? Oh, you're breaking up a little there.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if it's and stuff like that. So what they do, dashing is dashing, you know. So that's my.
We lost you a bit, Derick.
Okay, you're back, but can you unmute yourself? Again, people, this is what we have to deal with when we depending on technology every now and then. There might be a lapse in communication, so we apologize for that, but we're trying to get Ra back on with us.
DJ Cell, fix the line. Flo, fix the line.
Okay, we could see you. Okay,
You're
still muted. While we
Yes, you're back.
Okay, he's back.
I'm back on here. I don't know what happened there. Huh? I don't know
You
what
didn't get any
happened.
of your response, so start again.
Start again from your response of the question that I asked.
Okay, I don't think we respect ourselves too much, you know. I don't think we respect ourselves and respect our music, you know. First of all, we have to respect one another and understand that, of course, sure that we make the world understand that, because clearly you could see, I mean, just name the music there, and of course, so-called soca that is on Bouillon writing, and they were very, very happy. Bouillon presented itself for them to jump on it and for them to write it, because if you check, well, soca music had that kind of a slow kind of a vibe, which of course, when we had even played with those guys in Madison Square Garden, them guys were like, boy, that music too fast, it's too fast, it's too fast. Right now, they faster than us.
Right.
You know, and they taking the elements of it. Of course, lacking in resources, meaning that the type of studios, the sponsors, the agencies, meaning government, non-governmental, to really support the vibes. You check me? Of course, they like when bouillon music do certain things and they can benefit of it, but no, they don't really put anything to help the music, because just the other day, I think I was hearing the Prime Minister saying about like as if what's to the effect that they help the musicians already, the musicians okay. And I found wondering to myself, but with a while them man making us laundry, man. You know, look, and when you stretch out your hand, the fellas pulling back their hand, I give it to you, and believe you get it, you do get nothing and stuff like that, you know. So I think the powers that be need to respect the musicians, because for fools, because you see, you know, what the musicians bring into the festival, be it carnival, be it independence or Creole festival. festival or whatever. And I find it's because other people see the way that we treat one another. They use that as a rule of thumb and say, well, okay, if you'll accept that, then we can treat you like that, because now you're accepting that by your people and them, so your people and them treating you. But now, if your people and them recognize that, boy, we're supposed to respect our musicians, we're supposed to respect our music, we're supposed to respect ourselves, as a matter of fact, then people will start to respect you. Because, for instance, a man jump on stage and say, oh, your music was created in St. Lucia, and after all, people was, some man find, well, yeah, it wasn't nice, but no, damage was already done, it was already recorded, he come back and apologize, but that wasn't nice at all. Another time a man jump on and say, but the only music to play now is soca. It's like as if, well, yeah, I check myself, but would you go to Jamaica and jump on them people's stage and say, everybody play soca? You know, so now is, as I say, how you yourself, you know, so people look at you, you know, if you're looking like, you know, you're a joker, people just take it for jokes. So no, we have to learn to respect, because that was thought of and created. It's because of the work that we're already doing, you know. I mean, Caras, everybody know what was the situation in Caras. We don't want to go and ring it for bell and see what and what. But it's what we were doing at the time that created the festival, because now people were coming to Dominica just for a weekend to witness the band play, you know, whether it be Good Times, Aqua Kid, Cicero, or wherever, you know, just come down for the weekend from St. Kitts, St. Thomas, St. Martin, you know, just name it, you know, from Guadeloupe, Martinique, wherever, just to come down for a weekend to witness. So they come in on a Friday and they go now, or maybe a Sunday or Monday morning, bright and early, you know. So we had created that kind of a vibe. For instance, we go to a place like Notting Hill Carnival. We advertise in Dominica. We push in Dominica. We're doing it on our budget. We're doing it on Dominica budget. Right now, they have the DFC, right? And the DFC now have a budget, but they do include the musicians that walk the path already, that spend their own money pushing Dominica. We did it in New York. We went to New York now, when, you know, it's the difficulty is to go on the parkway in New York. Yeah, we did it quite a number of times on our pocket, and still pushing Dominica Festival and stuff like that, right? We did it in Canada as well, you know. So now, but if we don't respect what we have, then we have a major problem.
But one of the criticisms that might come from the public, and I being devil's advocate here, and also going on the side of the consumer, they might say, well, okay, yes, while all of that is true, one of the things that I dare say Dominican musicians have in common a lot is that as music in the world has evolved, we haven't moved with it, in the sense that copyright is now like a big issue, where, you know, while it is nice that we sample things and sing it and enjoy it in Dominica, one of the reasons why our music struggling to leave the shores and our genre struggling to get some respect out there is that we have stuff, the music we have cannot be played out there legally, or it cannot be displayed out there legally. What you have what is your take on that though? Is that like a fair criticism? Is it something you agree that yes, we have fallen short in that regard? Because a lot of our music is a lot of sampling. It's a lot of sampling, and nowadays the money in music seems to be issuing a lawsuit for a fella using your sample without permission.
Right.
Well, the thing is, music is like that, you know. So that's where we're talking about the creativity. You check. Of course, now you have to look at if we're developing the art, the artists, or we're just running after the money. You check. So now we have a lot of things to consider. Some people they say about, oh, We just running after the money. Is that I make any money? So we don't care. We just running after the money. But now, here we are now with that situation. So we have to look at some way of dealing with that situation, where we have to certain areas. And so I can't talk for everybody, but I could talk for myself in that kind of a way now, is to come and be original and creative, you know, because now, I mean, the ears now is a lot of samples. I mean, if you check like modern music now, is a lot of sampling, a lot of this that going on, you know, and sampling from songs that have been played already as a song come. I mean, it's not only Jamaica alone that I'm guilty of that. I mean, if you check now, Jamaica, a lot of Jamaica songs, a lot of artists, how they do it, they do a lot of covers. They do a lot of covers, you know, just look at reggae, you know.
No.
They did a lot of covers. But again, now, is doing it the right way. It's like you have to go to the people and them, you have to seek the permission, you have to do the legal stuff. Then that way, you know, you can put your stuff out there, you know. But again, no, people just find, well, okay, what we're doing is they kind of pirate kind of a stuff. Just take a thing, you figure, well, what am I? There's some way, you know, it's a little tight, you know?
Right,
because so is, as I say, it's not limited to like one person. You know, as I say, it's an industry, so we need different people to come. Whereas you're hardly that, you know, okay, he's a drummer, but see, he working on a program. Okay, that's good. You check. So no, he have a little experience in that, but no, if you get somebody, you know, that could teach him more in how to do the broadcast, how to do what and mathematics, would have maybe a better program. Or you decide, okay, he's doing his drums and stuff like that. You have a person that go show him, or he could be teaching other younger youths now about the drums and stuff like that, or to sit, you know, how to hold your sticks, you know, how to. We need really, we need to organize the industry, you know, to have different people, the strong in different areas, could tell you about copyrights, they could tell you what is the function of a writer, what's the function of a manager, if he is what was he a booking agent, you know, how you set different things, get a entertainment lawyer involved. And so when you're doing certain things now, you have things by the book, you know, you get an accountant so you could keep your books in order, how to set up your contracts between, you know, members of your band and stuff like that, so people don't end up in bad blood, you know. Make sure that you do equitable stuff, you know, where people is not going to be equal, but equitable, where people you try to outsmart people, them kind of over there. So you need to really organize, you know, the industry need to organize.
So,
you know?
so what you said is something that a discussion that I've had a lot of times, because a lot of times, like, people, sampling is not bad. It's how you go about sampling. Reproducing somebody's song is not illegal. If you cover it and you give credit, then you can sell that song, a percentage goes to the person. So right. I think, in my opinion, one of the biggest problems is our people in the music industry right now, we don't care to listen to each other. For example, just I think a month ago, you all had it was Kadas month, and there was a forum put together by Wadix where you gave a you were part of the panel, and I think Cornell recorded a presentation, and these were the things that you all were talking about, and I am very sure from the video that I looked at that a lot of the so-called current leaders of the industry, especially BOUYON, they were either not present or maybe not even viewing the thing. So I think that's something that I honestly don't know how it's going to work, because we tend to not want to listen to each other, you know, and all what you're saying there, it's all well and good, but we really wish that people would say, boy, let me listen to what Ra saying there. You know, let me hear what Ra saying. And I think that will help eventually. But then let us go into your legacy. Your legacy. Like what is next for Ra? We know you had bands like Rhythm and Heat. So can you tell us what you've done apart from your time with the band? And then what do you want your legacy to be, and what are you doing to make sure that something is created where you can remember you by, not just for WCK, but you? Oh boy.
Well, the thing is an ongoing thing.
While we trying to get her back, don't forget to get your merch in the Talk the Ting store. So the link is in on the Instagram page. Check it out. Get your shirt, get your hoodies. Winter coming. Get your hoodie. Get your hoodie. We have some new designs, so check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, and we are also in the process of rebranding. For those of you who noticed that the image that we sent out to advertise tonight's show looked a little different. They've been looking a little bit different. Also, y'all could check on our the sports version of Talk the Ting Sports every Sunday with where you could catch little reviews and updates on the English Premier League, West Indies cricket. I say that with my fingers crossed. And any other sport that you guys may be interested in. Hopefully, American football season is coming up, so maybe they'll talk about it then. I'll join maybe then. But we're trying to get a Ra back on, but it is already 18 minutes after 9, and we normally go for an hour. So if we cannot get Ra on, most likely we might have to do a part 2. But Rajiv and management, what do y'all think? Are we gonna wrap it up?
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like we're getting back Ra. Yeah.
Let me try to reach out to him. Give me a second.
Hey there?
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Flo not cooperating with you tonight, there, nah?
I don't know.
Hardly he back on the audio.
Okay, well, if it's the audio, we can take the audio. So basically, if you could hear us, just give us a little snippet on, what's next.
Yeah, you have to put me on the video. Put me on the video. Because you have to.
All right.
Yeah, all right, yeah. 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 So I have to change my position there. Sorry about that there. Yeah.
Yeah, so on the legacy of Ra, what are you working on and to ensure that we can remember you by
Well, the thing is, as I was saying, what I'm working on is as I always do, is to work with other artists. Well, especially now with my son, doing some production and stuff like that. So that is what we're doing down there, because he doing some producing. Of course, we just done some rhythms and stuff like that. So have a few different artists working with and developing. So this way we are. Of course, he has his band, and for now we just resetting up stuff there. As you know, the hurricane had messed up a lot of our stuff there, because we live close to the river, and with the Hurricane Maria, what happened, stuff like that. So in the process of this putting back the studio together. But in the meantime, now we recording and stuff like that. So now he is working with his production with BOUYON Kitchen, of course, and with his label, So there's where I'm at there now.
For the people who don't know, who's your son and what's the name of his band?
Oh, his name is Ajmal. Ajmal Ryan Peters. It's called him Skyo.
Skyo.
So yeah, he's the one doing that production and stuff like that.
Well,
so he's unlimited. I mean, you do different genres. It's not limited to just like BOUYON alone. Of course, he produced a couple stuff there for XP. He's done some stuff for a few artists around the Caribbean as well. He's done some, I think, 1 2 things for Moto, some remixes and stuff like that, and Ebony Empress and a few others that I can't remember off my head. Yeah.
Ra, we've been going for almost an hour and a half now, and we still haven't scratched some of the surface. So how you feel about coming back for a part 2?
Well, once it can be done, we'll do it. As long as I have the life.
It can definitely.
Of course.
Yeah, I'd have a problem looking at that because as you see, it's just like a conversation we having. It's not like to.
It's a lot we have to unpack. We only
halfway.
Need the halfway there.
Yeah, all right. So it's no problem. Anytime again that we could always touch and.
So we're gonna wrap it up for tonight.
Okay.
But we're gonna keep in touch for part 2 to continue this conversation, because there's a lot with Ra after WCK. There's a lot still with Ra currently, and we definitely want to touch on that. So we're gonna tell the people we're not gonna close the interview with Ra. We're gonna say to be continued.
To be continued.
Bring it back.
All right, respect. What I want to say is I want to big up you all guys for the work that you all doing, because as you know, the music industry is a lot of different components, and we need people to work where they're strong, where you already have the strength. Of course, you may love to do other stuff, but where you're strong, is there. We want your resource, and I want to say thanks for having me on the program, and I really appreciate what you're doing for the musicians and the music industry, in Dominica. And I know maybe you have other artists from elsewhere, but I know you all have a high concentration on the Dominica artists. So we're going to give strength, and we know the only way for us to really move forward actually is for us to support one another. And I know we're always talking about unity, but now I think what we should think of doing right now is to cooperate. I think cooperation is maybe a word less used. We always talking about togetherness and unity, and we seeing it just like in words, it's not in deed. We want to see the cooperation happening, the way we
actual work
with one another. Maybe we're talking about for instance the program Wadix had, and you see there wasn't much maybe BOUYON artists or BOUYON people participating in that, which is kind of I know or maybe watching. I know it's the COVID and much people couldn't come and fill the hall, but they could participate, and it's not that you're begging people too, but no. For instance, you see how the Chinese move. They buy in bulk and they share among one another. Although you go to different Chinese stores, they sell almost the same thing, but they cooperate. You go to the Indians, you see the same thing. And we have a good example in Dominica with the Haitians, where they cooperate with one another. They move together. Dominicans will say, well, a Haitian will get a house for maybe 15,000 a month, let's exaggerate, right? He'll get how much different man, and they rent in your house, and all of them staying in a nice house, but all of them have their liquor part and they cooperating. So that's the way we have to move. We have to learn to cooperate and don't believe as if, well, that big house is there alone and it's me alone. It's coming very selfish, and selfish in a negative way, because you could be selfish in a positive way, but that selfishness is in a negative way. You know, we have to learn to cooperate. That's the only way forward. I mean, I come maybe like a stock record because I've been speaking about that. I've spoken about it countless among the times, and it have people are coming up with the idea as if it's a brand new idea. But you know, I've been speaking about that for a very, very long time. And you know, I was really hoping that we would have that kind of cooperation from since when, God knows, so we could already achieve, you know, the way we really wanted to achieve, you know. I mean, the industry is changing rapidly, but now we have to adjust and to be moving with the industry and don't go in a selfish way and boast when we flop somebody else, you know, or we cut somebody else leaving, you know, or we making somebody life miserable. That's not the way to go, you know. I mean, we have to go by the basic law of the Most High. To love the Most High with all your heart and soul, and to love for yourself what you'd love for your brother, you know, and love, you know, give love to your brother just like how the Most High love you, you know, that kind of a way there. So that's why, you know, the spiritual part of it, you know, we cannot keep that out, you know. We have to keep it, you know, foremost in our every thinking, you know.
All right. So there you have it, guys. You know, at least it's very good to get the positive words from these guys. And with that, we will close this episode of this interview. We will be back, like we said, to be continued. I'm looking for the Talk the Ting sports cast on Sunday. After the games of Saturday and Sunday, we have Arsenal playing, Man U playing, Rajiv, your team playing on Saturday, Chelsea. So we have some games coming up, and then check the cast, you know, Brad, Dwayne, Kerriel, and anybody else who wants to join, check us out on Sunday for Talk the Ting. Oh, okay, just get a little thing from our producer there. We will not be having Talk the Ting sports this Sunday, I guess, due to the Labor Day weekend celebrations and festivities, people traveling. But we will be back next week with, I guess, a double episode of Talk the Ting Sports. So, guys, again, thanks for coming back. Season 3 is back. And we will be back on, and we'll let you guys know when our next show is, which is in the next 2 weeks. And thank you for viewing. Take care, guys.
All right, you have a good night and blesses everybody. Whatever morning, whatever, wherever party in the world, if it's morning, night, noon or night, you know what I mean? So have a good one and bless up, and thanks for having me. You know, keep it real, you know.
Yes, sir.
And talk the thing.
Take care, man.
Yeah, bless.